Today we are looking at the Slate Digital Mix Rack, and in specific we're going to look at the Revival plugin, which is a newer plugin that Slate has offered for free on their website now. And it is just a simple 2-knob analog modeling processor. And on Slate's website you can see that it says it's an analog modeled sonic enhancer. It emulates tape, tubes, transformers, and the shimmer will add depth, clarity, space, width, and air, and thickness adds warmth, punch, body, and fatness. So let's test this out and see how it works. I've already went ahead and done some drums with this, some guitars, and some vocals, and in my opinion, I really like the drums and vocals and how it sounds on those. So here's a basic track that I've mixed previously, and we will just listen to the drums right now, and I will basically ramp it up so you can really hear it. Let's try this out. Hear how as I went through that and I turned up the shimmer, it added a lot of the top end to that, a lot of above about, I'd say it was above 8K. And that's nice because it does add some of that sizzly, bright cymbal sounds which sound great on drums, and I personally really like it. And then the thickness, as you saw, it seemed to add a lot of low end, and in specific, it seemed like it was adding everywhere below, I'd say about 500 hertz. And I went really heavy to begin with, and it almost sounded a little too boxy for my liking. However, if you dial it in, you can really make a nice sound. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, now let's listen as we toggle it in and out. See how it really brings out my low end there? Here it is in the mix.
It's time to sinking ship, and I'm sick of it. It's going nowhere, so get out of here before we cannot quit. Everyone's still stuck on heading down barrel, standing so still.
See how there when I kicked it in and out, it seemed as if it was really punching through the mix with the low end, and the high end was kind of cutting through now, and the cymbals didn't seem dull and empty. Well, let's try out and see how it sounds on guitars. I'm personally not too big of a fan of this, but other people might be. And in specific, what I really don't like that much about guitars in it is it just sounds kind of boxy when you add in the low end. So let's give a listen to just our guitars here. Let's hear some guitars. You see how it kind of would sound when I went all the way up with the thickness. It'd sound a little boxy, and I don't like how boxy it sounds. However, this does sound pretty good when you tune it in just right here. So let's see if we can get it to sound real good in here. I personally kind of like that now. I originally wasn't too hot on it, but it's growing on me slowly but surely. The thing that I'm kind of liking about it is I find, at least with the music I make, that typically the guitars need a little more crunch and a little more bite to cut through, and that's very typical for rock, punk, and anything in that style, which this does really nicely because it adds a lot of that shimmer, as Slate says. And that shimmer is like 8K, and it just kicks right through the mix. And the thickness, it's nice because guitars do have that nice woofy kind of sound that's got some low end in it, right around 500 to 800, which could be nice. And like, the only thing that I'm a little nervous of with this plugin is the thickness. It can overpower the rest of it, but you can kind of take it with what you want. And let's real quickly just try this out on this gang vocal part that I have here and hear how it sounds. Okay, we'll go to our gang part, find it over here. This is just a big part with a bunch of vocals, and let's listen to how it sounds. I really like this on it.
She said that this town is just a game, that it's always been the same, that you're gonna turn out wrong. She said that you gotta move away, gotta go where you can stay, so you can get out of this town.
See how that thickness added some low end and body into those backing vocals? It was nice because they're really kind of tinny right now and kind of high end, but adding that thickness in there really filled it out nicely. And then let's hear how it sounds with the shimmer in there.
She said that this town is just a game, that it's always been the same, that you're gonna turn out wrong. She said that you gotta move away, gotta go where you can stay, so you can get out of this town.
I personally like that. I like how it sounds with the...
She said that this town is just a game, that it's
I really like how it sounds with the shimmer there. I cut myself off because I wanted to listen to it again, and I personally like that.
She said that this town is just a game, that it's always been the same, that you're gonna turn out wrong. She said that you gotta move away, gotta...
Real quick, see what this can do on our main vocals here. We'll just go to a simple lead part here.
This town's a sinking ship, and I'm so sick of it. It's going nowhere, so get out of here before we cannot quit. Everyone's still stuck on hemming down bad luck, standing so still and nothing fulfills. I just don't carry on. There's nothing wrong, everything's perfect.
See, I kind of like that with the whole thickness knob. It's nice, but at the same time, it's just not cutting through in this mix because I do have a lot of low end going on. But if I isolate my vocal here, we'll just isolate these and hear it.
This town's a sinking ship, and I'm so sick of it. It's going nowhere, so get out of here before we cannot quit. Everyone's still stuck on hand-me-down bad luck, standing so still.
I like how that is. My preference with this plugin is to add it on drums and vocals just because the whole shimmer and thickness, the two knobs really lend themselves to those. However, with guitars, it's hit or miss. If I'm going to use it on guitars, I'm just going to use that shimmer knob. I don't really care much for the thickness knob, but hey, it's personal preference. And right now I'm going to cut this short so we don't go too long. Hopefully this has been an informative video and you can go and try it for yourself with the knowledge that I've given you. Basically just keep in mind that the shimmer and thickness knobs over here are just going to add in some high end and some low end really, as well as maybe a little distortion and a little bit of saturation in there as well, which is good and it's natural. So it's really personal preference. Try out, experiment. It's an easy plugin. Go download it for free. It's great, not too processor intensive, and it sounds really good.